And we are live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From the live studios, Mickey G Studios, this is the Mickey G channel.
All right. Thank you for watching the Mickey G channel, starring Mickey G.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also JB the God Killer. We have a special guest lined up for you guys tonight. The one, the only, Dolcefino Consulting.
Say hi to the people, Dolcefino.
What's happening, people?
All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. This is the Mickey G channel. We have none other than Dolcefino Consulting from Houston, right? That's where you're from?
Yeah, I have a house in Houston. Also, I have a house in Austin. I'm currently in my Austin office. I travel all over the country. So.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I just realized, JV, you were on mute the whole time. Are you with us now?
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Technology, people. Technology, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, all right. So, Dolcefino Consulting. I, like months ago, I saw it came across my feed, a newspaper article talking about how the city of San Benito is filing a lawsuit or looking to file a lawsuit against some consulting company from Harlingen, and so this is how I'm hearing about this. This this came out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden you're exposing corruption in San Benito, one place at a time. How did you hear about something that's going on in San Benito?
Okay, so we investigate everything from family injustice, corruption in the courts, judges, lawyers, to fraud, to public corruption. We're investigating things in East Texas, in Crockett, in Lufkin, in Central Texas, in Pflugerville. We've investigated family injustice cases all over the country. We get hired to investigate, and if we deem it editorially appropriate, to expose. And we've had calls before, and people who wanted to hire us before, and someone called and talked to us about nepotism problems down in the valley, and possible takedowns by the Economic Development Corporation in San Benito. I have done a lot of investigations into economic development corporations. I've done one in Dickinson for the last couple of years, which led to the resignation of the mayor there. I've done some in Kima, something I've been working on for years. So I'm known as someone who investigates economic development corporations in towns because they are inherently mismanaged and often corrupt. And we started researching and saw that San Benito EDC was involved in a big fight with this company, Varco. And so that became part of our investigation.
Yeah, and so you say that that you're hired by people.
Sure.
How does that happen? How does somebody hire you to investigate something?
Sure. So, you call my office tomorrow and say, hey, I want Wayne to investigate my stalker and expose him. I want
Done.
Wayne to investigate my crooked judge. I want Wayne to investigate a county commissioner who is scamming on road projects. Okay. I was an investigative reporter, and maybe that's what I should tell you. I was an investigative reporter for ABC in Houston for 27 years. I ran the undercover unit, which was a public corruption unit, right? So I'm very well known in Houston, maybe not so much in the Valley, but I earned 30 Emmys along the way. I mean, I'm just someone who has taken investigative media, the old school investigative media, and made a company out of it, where we are not funded by advertisers. We are funded by people who say, I want to hire you to go do X. And most of the time, our clients just say, go yonder, young man, and investigate and expose. And often they have someone they think may be a target, but sometimes it's, I just know something's going on. See what you can find out. So it depends.
Right.
Wow. And s- like, do you know? I saw in your video that you posted, I saw that you had Emmys in the background. I thought that was like ironically, but those are real Emmys.
I've got 30 of them, and also three, not to brag, whatever, three medals from the
That's awesome.
Investigative Reporters and Editors Group, which is the more than any journalist in the country. So I come from a journalism background. I run an investigative media company. The only difference is, in order to do many of these investigations, and many of them involve investigations of government, which the local media usually doesn't do.
Right.
People hire us because we don't care. We're not afraid of anybody. We're not. We don't have conflicts. I ain't anybody's cousin or
Right.
primo or brother-in-law or whatever nonsense you get in some of these small towns. And so we can come in and, call it like we see it. And if people don't like it, which apparently some of your little whiny public officials in San Benito don't, well, then that's just too bad.
Yep. Do you know, and I'm not gonna like the production behind these videos that you're putting out,
that's
behind
great.
the investigations that you're putting out are like top notch and like entertaining to say the least. Like, I don't know who your editor is, but he's doing a great job.
I have two editors. Sam Pickman is the one who's edited the pieces down in San Benito, but Josh Martin, who's a photographer who's traveled down with me. Carter McCormack also has traveled down with me. I have a team of reporters. I have editors and photographers. I have paralegals, because a lot of what we end up getting involved in often are investigations that have a lot of legal stuff in them.
Right.
So that's the team. I have 10 employees, and hire us. We come to you. We travel.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to put it out there for everyone watching. Feel free to put in your if you have any questions that you want us to ask Dolcefino in the chat, and we'll
hire Dolcefino as well.
Yeah, if you want to hire him as well, reach out to him. Any questions? Yeah, put it in the chat, or if you want it anonymous, you can DM us and we'll ask it anonymously. Look, this is something that's really near and dear to our heart. I grew up in San Benito, born and raised. JB grew up in San Benito, born and raised. We're all from, all of our friends and family are from San Benito. And I remember growing up thinking like, not, everyone was thinking, why isn't it growing more? Why isn't it growing more? And what would happen was, a lot of people would say like, man, if San Benito, the government wasn't so like corrupt or wasn't so this. And I remember thinking like, San Benito is such a small city. How the hell can such a small city like have any corruption at all? Okay. And then so you put your video out there, and now it's starting to come to light what a lot of people are complaining about. A lot of people are saying that like, this isn't something new. This has always been the status quo.
Exactly.
All right. So let's start with, I heard about a plaza like years ago that was opening up, and it seemed like finally San Benito was opening a beautiful plaza right by the Resaca, to where like all of these beautiful businesses were going to open up there, and it was going to be like, Resaca side music and food and bars and all this stuff. And finally, San Benito was going to get what we wanted to finally get. We were going to be just like all these other big cities, because we know that we can do it. And not only that, but I was very critical of how the hell are they going to pay for it? No, don't worry about it. This company is going to pay for all of it. All right. Dolcefino, how do you prefer it? Dolcefino, Wayne? I want to make sure
Wayne.
All right, Wayne. All right, Wayne.
I always say only people that are suing me have to call me Mr. So you can call me Wayne.
Fair enough.
All right. What happened with this beautiful plaza in San Benito that's starting to cause all of this trouble?
Okay, so to be clear, the trouble going on with that was going on before I showed up. Okay.
Right.
I know that the city manager first claimed I talked to him and told him I was hired by Varco, which I wasn't, and I didn't tell him that. It's just part of this weird thing they have to try to distract people from one of the real questions. Okay, so I don't pretend to know everything about the Varco deal. I just know that they were in court with the city when I came down, and it has been part of my videos, in part because it's part of the problem with that EDC. So apparently, back in 2013, 2014, city got a federal grant to do a museum, right? Museum never happened. Land sat there for years. Then this company, Varco, comes in and says, hey, we'll do this plaza you described. Lots of delays. COVID happened. Even more delays, suppliers, workers, if you believe them, okay?
Right.
And then the city started getting a little cranky about the delays, and admittedly they should, right? And there were amendments to the contract that not only extended the time to complete it, which I understand it'll be completed in a month or two, but also said for every day you don't complete it, you pay us damages, right? $500 a day, which also seems totally appropriate, right? Well, the EDC agreed to it. The city never ratified it. And then months before this all blew up, this member of the EDC, Jose Morales, according to Varco, approaches them and says, you've got to pay us a bucket load of money or we're going to take it over. Well, the Varco people view that as a shakedown, okay? Why, if this project is going on, why are you all of a sudden wanting to take it? My view of this, and again, I'm not anyone's spokesman here. I'm not the city spokesman or Varco. My view of this is that if they're 80-something% complete, right, and they're going to finish in a couple of months, why would the city want to take it over and run a shopping center? My experience after 45 years of investigating local governments can't run shopping centers, right? Now, put yourself in the Varco shoes. And I interviewed them. It was part of my story. They say, we've invested $8 or $9 million in this thing. And all of a sudden, in the 11th hour, the city wants to take it over and take all the rental income and not pay us, right? If that was your investment of $8 or $9 million, you would scream bloody murder. Now, the city says, well, they're not getting it done. We want to renegotiate the deal. But why? Why are you spending taxpayer money on lawyers right now when the people are paying you damages? Some of the places open, and the rest of it, at least from what I'm told, are going to be done in a month or two. What's all the lawyers for?
Yeah.
Why does the city want to go in the shopping center business?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, if you believe Varco and what Varco told us on camera, they believe the EDC wanted to take over the shopping center so their buddy, maybe somebody has a broker who's a relative, maybe someone does rental properties,
Yeah.
maybe someone wants to get a skim off the top. That breeds corruption. You do not want governments running shopping centers. In Dickinson, not to go on, the Dickinson EDC bought $13 million worth of land that nobody even wants, right?
Yeah.
Government, they shouldn't buy land either. But what EDCs are for is to attract business to invest in your town. And Varco is one of the only people that wanted to. And what they're doing to Varco, I can just tell you, nobody's going to come to that town and invest big money after watching the city's conduct in this deal. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, true. And that's what was so discouraging is that when I saw the original article about like, oh, we're going to build this Resaca village, it's going to be beautiful, all this stuff. We don't have to pay anything. This company will put up the bill. And
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and after I read the details, it was supposed to be okay. We'll give you leeway to, you don't have to, I think it was like you don't have to pay any taxes for like 5 years or something like that. And after that, yeah, we're leasing it to you, and then we'll sell it to you for $1 or something like that. And
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying it's a good deal at the time or a bad deal. I don't know. I wasn't around. Not my problem. That's their fight. I'm
Right.
just telling you my experience that this EDC what are they going to do running a shopping center? Really? It's a volunteer government entity. They're going to run a shopping center? It's illogical. It's stupid. It's inefficient, and you got to wonder why they wanted to do that. And
Right.
it played in to this narrative that I was investigating, which was nepotism and allegations of some shady dealings, which I can and can't go into. I will tell you, I heard the mayor. Someone sent me it today. I don't know what it was posted on something called L Run Run or something, a
Okay.
blog down there. And the mayor was talking about Barco and talking about me and some guy. He couldn't even say my name. But anyway, he started the interview and he ended the interview with the word transparency.
yeah,
Right? I want to be totally transparency. Can I cry bull? The very first thing we asked for from the EDC was a general ledger of all their expenditures and all their income, right? What they brought in, what they spent the money on, right? That's one of the very first things we asked for. And you know what? They won't give it to us. They want the attorney general to let them keep it a secret. So if the mayor wants to be Mr. Transparent, number one, open the general ledger. Give us all the records we've asked for. They're actually hiring lawyers to come after our records, which they will never get, so they can see maybe who hired us. What difference does it have to make to any taxpayer in San Benito, right? If they're right in the Barco case, let the public see all the documents. If they're wrong, then they're throwing good money after bad on some dumb lawyer. So, but to say you're transparent at the very same time you're hiding public records is hypocrisy at best.
Right.
yeah. And do you know what, man? You've really been, you've really gotten, for the good and the bad. You've gotten people talking and really reacting to what's been going on. We've been getting some anonymous questions, which we'll ask later on. And yes,
Sure.
the video, the mayor for San Benito just put out a video about like less than 24 hours ago,
Yeah.
and so we'll check that out as well. City also, and then Carol, who's actually in one of your videos to her, and that was part of the nepotism that you talked about to her, like what's his name? Sandoval. Sandoval was the city manager, head of the EDC. He was the one that didn't live in San Benito.
He's my pal.
Yeah.
He's my pal.
Yeah. He was the one that didn't live in San Benito, but had no plans of living in San Benito, and was not asked to leave, even though it's required. And then at the same time, Carol, who was also, I think she was a part of the commission, the city commission.
Yeah. She was a city commissioner whose term was up in a couple of weeks, and they threw her off summarily. It was like an execution. When she had just a couple of weeks left on her term. And the former city manager was constantly attacked because his wife still lived in another city and he went back and forth, right, on weekends and stuff. They gave him hell. I don't know the guy. I'm not even sure I know his name. De La Rosa, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we went up to Fred Sandoval, he could have given us all kinds of reasons, right? And then we said, when are you going to move? He goes, never. I mean, it was like, I'll just call it out. He was a jerk.
Yeah.
He gave us the title arrogant with power. Drunk with power, which was our first video, was given that title because of the resaca, right? Because sometimes it means hangover, right?
Yeah.
And we went there to look at campaign records, and they called the police on us. We went to look at campaign records. They literally called the police, who looked at them like they were nuts for wasting their time on me. Okay? I've been arrested in some places. Okay, I don't care. But that just gave you right there everything you want to know about this transparency in San Benito.
Yeah. Yeah. So Carol says that, and by the way, we're playing the video in the background of which one is it? Arrogant
Go
with
for it.
Power.
Power.
You know what? So let me just say real quick. So Arrogant with Power got its name. It was going to be called A Family Affair,
Okay.
but after Mr. Sandoval went in the newspaper and claimed I told him who was paying us to come down to San Benito, and he just bald-faced lied to the newspaper. And after we talked to him and he said never, I just thought Arrogant with Power fit the bill. Question is, what's the next one going to be called?
Yeah, and that's something that Sophia pointed out is that Fred Sandoval had said you misquoted him when he said he wasn't moving to San Benito. So
Well, the word never is kind of like never.
yeah,
I didn't misquote him. He just decided to be a you-know-what instead of saying, I want to take care of my grandmother, my kids in high school, whatever. We had been to his house and talked to his nice wife, who said, we have no plans to move, which is the whole reason he came up in the first place, because it's in the charter. I didn't write the charter. The city did. I didn't even have an issue with Mr. Sandoval until I went to City Hall the very first day to ask for campaign records. He would never call us back. We asked for records for 6 weeks from Mr. Sandoval before we traveled down to San Benito. So, cry me a river. We didn't misquote him. I'll be glad to play the whole audio to anyone who ever wants to hear it. Mr. Sandoval just chose to be a jerk, and he's probably sorry he did. But that's arrogance. That's what Arrogant with Power is all about.
Yeah, arrogance at its finest. And like I said, even in the chat, you're getting quite the reaction. Is this something you're used to?
He's got to be.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of either sort of love me or hate me. And when your ox is getting gored, I've had people over the years that love me, and until I investigated like their mama, and then they hated me. Okay. I was in a bar once, and a guy sent me over 2 drinks, and of course I drank them, and then I went over to thank him, and he said, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You sent my mother and father to prison." So there you go.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. All right. Carol, who is how we mentioned, she was the commissioner.
Yeah.
She got ousted 3 weeks away from. She was already planning to leave, so 3 weeks from her leave date, for not living in the city full time, and as opposed to Fred Sandoval for this, for the same thing, and he wasn't ousted. She put in the chat, where is it at? She put in the chat, city also asked for extensions from TCEQ because they didn't complete the lift stations they were required to within the 10 years they were given for the exact reasons. COVID caused delays for everyone due to lack of supplies and personnel. In the same meetings, they gave Varco extensions. They asked for some themselves. So it wasn't just Varco saying that, like we were delayed because of COVID, but they asked for extensions themselves. The money spent on lawyers should have been spent supporting the vendors in the facility and for grants to attract some. All right.
Well, can't say I blame them. Look, I don't like lawyers as a general rule. Okay, I've been sued plenty, and I don't like them. Okay, I think cities spend way too much on lawyers. Cities need to be transparent. If you're transparent with your records, then every taxpayer in San Benito can see every single piece of paper and every phone record and every email, and that's transparency.
Yeah. Right. And that always seems to be a problem with local government. They have they really do have a problem with transparency. You said 6 weeks for something as simple as what was it exactly that you were requesting for? 6 weeks?
Campaign records. Right. Campaign finance records are supposed to be available to any citizen of San Benito. They can walk into City Hall on any regular business day and say, I want to see who donated to Commissioner Morales, right?
Yeah.
For 6 weeks. And then we went to go get them, and they refused to give them to us. They sent out some Yahoo, their PR guy, I forget his name, but he was a real nice guy, right? Who called the cops on us because I wanted to look at campaign records. I would have if I was the mayor of that town, I'd have fired him that day.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tells you something.
Yeah. Well, wow. Yeah, for it to take that long for very basic, and that is very basic stuff, that's not really okay. Here's something else you also reported on the epicenter, and this is also something else that was promised that wasn't given. Could you tell us what you know about the epicenter that never was?
The only thing I know about the epicenter is it's going to be this great project. It's going to be like $100 million deal, right? It was going to be like put San Benito on the map, right? And we actually polled the owner of the project, which is now just their land, right? Everywhere they're gone, right? Didn't happen. Congratulations, San Benito. You chased away somebody else, right? That is why you guys look around and say, where is the economic development? Right? The two companies, Epicenter and Varco, they came to town to make significant proposals of personal and financial investment. The Moraleses got into a match with them. The owner would only tell us, he didn't want to talk much. He only told us that it was to look at the Moraleses, right? And so two companies pointing the finger at the same people makes me say, those people should explain themselves. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know what they're up to. But we went to the city council meeting to talk to Commissioner Morales, and what did she do? I asked her a couple of questions. She called the police chief over to make me stop. It gives you a sense, what in the world are they hiding? I didn't go up and ask her if she'd robbed the bank. I just said, why are you guys involved in this fight with Varco? And why did you appoint your husband to all these boards? Nepotism is rampant in San Benito. The fact citizens don't demand after this that there is an ordinance prohibiting kinfolk from serving on boards that the city commissioners oversee is just insane to me. Some of the most corrupt towns I know have nepotism rules.
Right.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. So part of one thing that I also enjoyed in the videos that you put out is that you were able to film inside of the it was a lawsuit between the EDC and Varco, which was how do you say it? It was, the judge was none other than Chewy, our good friend Chewy.
We roll with that guy.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? We were in town to go to the city council meeting, right, and to go to City Hall. It just happened to be the same day that the EDC was trying to evict Varco.
So that was like a coincidence that you guys were there.
Well, I mean, it happened the same day, but we were there to go talk to the Moraleses. That's why I went down there, okay? I was going to talk to the mayor and the Moraleses. I didn't plan the court date, so I know I'm pretty powerful, but I didn't control the court document.
Right.
So we go to the court, and that was the first time I met those lawyers from Varco. I went up to talk to the EDC guy, the lawyer for EDC. I think his name was Prunetta, who would send me all these nasty letters. I'd never even met the guy. I went up to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. And we asked the court clerk if we could get some quick video inside, because normally in Harris County you could see through the window, right? But not in the courtroom. And he said, Judge said, you're welcome to come on in, which I thought was really cool. Hats off to him.
Yeah.
That's what all courts should be like.
Right.
There you go, man. Our very own good friend Chewy, man. that couldn't look any good on such a big stage. So, yeah, great job, Chewy.
That's transparency.
Yeah, that's exactly, that's transparency. And we have Man, Javier in the chat is so angry. He's insulting everybody.
People
That's
people are always going to be angry when you speak the truth. It's going to bother people.
Yeah. Hey, just for reference, Wade, because Javier's questioning your legitimacy and questioning who you are as an investigator, as a journalist.
Okay.
Could you show him? Could you show him with your fingers
Well,
how many Emmys you have to speak on your behalf?
10, 20,
20,
30.
30.
30. That's more than he has fingers, for crying out loud. What the
I have
hell?
fingers too.
He doesn't have enough toes.
Look,
Fingers
Yeah.
or toes.
Look, what happens in a lot of these small towns is there are factions, okay? And so one faction is now in charge of the school district, the housing authority, and the city commission and the EDC. Okay, the other faction doesn't like them. It's
Right.
it's not just San Benito. I see it in every town I go into. Right, half the people will love me because I'm exposing something, and the other half will hate me and say, "Who's paying you? Why are you
Right.
here? You're an outsider." Look, it's sort of like that EDC guy who was a convicted sex offender, that Flores guy.
That's
Right.
exactly
We
what I was
spent-
going to go to next. Yeah.
We stumbled on it. Okay, we were just checking the general profiles of officials, right? And we see this picture of this guy, and we're going, "Well, he's a sex offender. He couldn't be the same guy, right?" And we're looking at the mustache, and it seemed like the same guy. And we checked. I'm a licensed PI, and I have some PI software, so we just checked addresses, and the addresses match. And we said, "Could it be?" So we called the San Benito Police Department, and we just say, "Hey, look, we're going to send you this stuff, right?" And
Look into this.
fellowship were right. And so not only were we right, but the next day they went and arrested him. And that was one of the things that Sandoval said. That was another, not true. He said,
Right.
"Well, it was the city's due diligence that exposed it."
Right.
Absolutely false, right? It was us who did it. So then we get his application under open records. His application, he put on that he's the mayor's cousin, right? So the mayor in the paper vehemently denies that he's his cousin. And he says, "Well, the word primo in Spanish, doesn't mean we're related by blood."
Right.
Look, I could care less if they're blood relatives. The application didn't use the word primo,
Right.
okay? Because I know, I have Hispanic friends. I know what the word primo means. It can mean buddy or cousin or cuz, because
Right.
I get the slang, right?
Yeah.
It said cousin. It didn't say primo. It said cousin. And one of my frustrations with, I think it's the Valley Morning Star, is that, which is like a mouthpiece, I guess, for the city hall down there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a nice guy, but it's like, dude, I mean, I've spent an hour on the phone. I've sent that guy every record I've gotten, right? I sent him a copy of the application. And then he reports this primo nonsense, and I'm going, doesn't say primo, it says cousin,
Yeah.
right? But even if it says primo, whatever, that's the problem. People are appointing people who are their primos, their husbands, their cousins,
Sons.
their second mama's brother, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way to run a government. You look, my wife, who would probably beat me to death if she knew I was talking about her, right? If I was in charge of something, I would not appoint her because I couldn't, in any good conscience, supervise her the way I would supervise a stranger. The excuse I hear in San Benito, well, there just aren't enough people that want to get involved in city government, right?
Yeah.
That's bull. That's bull. Open it up. See what happens, right? Bring independent people who aren't related to somebody
Right.
or not on someone's political tab and see what happens, San Benito.
Yeah. Hey, and so that's the biggest thing is that everyone seems to be related here. And to be fairness, if I'm playing devil's advocate, everyone's almost kind of related.
Almost.
Everyone is almost cousins in San Benito. It's so small. But that's why, for people criticizing, oh, he's bringing all this negative stuff to San Benito. He's not telling all the truth, all this stuff. Hey, well, look, he exposed, and by accident, he just
Yeah.
by doing due diligence, he exposed that we had like part of the EDC. We had somebody on the board
Right.
that was a convicted sex offender that went to jail because he
But he moved
Yeah,
and he
and
didn't
when
report that he
one of the
moved.
things that was weird to us when we first found that was that he was only in town just a few months, and he was put on this like really important
Right.
panel, right?
Right.
And we were curious at the time. We didn't know. Well, what's that all about, right? Who did he
Yeah.
know that he just like shows up in town and all of a sudden he's on the EDC?
How does that happen?
And well, because you claim you're the mayor's cousin. That's how it happens, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, like so that's really the problem that's going on. So this is what I've been told for so long, that this is how it is in San Benito. This is how they do business. And ever since I reached out to you, all of this information has come out of the woodworks to where like, did you know that they do this? Did you know that they do that? Did you like
Yeah.
people from different people, differently involved
Different
in
walks
this.
of life.
Yeah, exactly. Have been
Those
coming out of the
those
woodworks
vi-
and telling me everything that's been going on.
those videos. I mean, I'm we do good on videos, but those videos have been seen by a couple 100,000 people.
Right.
They stopped through the Rio Grande Valley. We are getting ready next week to do an investigation of a judge in a case in Mission. There's other nepotism trails we're following through the valley. But when I saw Fred Sandoval tell the newspaper that they're thinking about spending taxpayer money to sue my
Yes.
company,
Hmm.
and just the other day they tried to serve a subpoena on me for my company's records. What a waste of money. What
Right.
the hell do I have to do with their dispute with Barco?
Right.
If they did something wrong, go get them. If you did something wrong, they should go get you. But they're actually spending taxpayer money on the Prunetto law firm to hire people to try to serve me with a subpoena. And I love trying to look for people trying to serve me a subpoena. What a waste of money, right? And when I saw that, now I'm trying to think of what the next video is going to be called. I got drunk with power and arrogant with power. Stupid with power could be the third.
That sounds perfect.
Yes.
Just thinking.
So out of this Resaca village that they created, they pretended that they weren't going to spend any money on it, and now they're trying to take it over to where now they're going to foot the entirety of the bill. Well, that's what they're planning on doing.
Well, they want to shovel it to somebody they know.
And not only that, but they're also spending money on suing Wayne. And what the hell's going on? Okay, so we have a few questions that have
Sure.
come in. Let me just make sure. I get this right. I don't want to
Make sure Javier's still watching.
Yeah, make sure Javier's aware.
A fan.
Oh yeah, you just made a great fan today, Wayne.
Yeah. All right, so let me see. Okay, somebody wants to know if you're coming back to San Benito for either
Yes.
the same case, a different case.
Yes, I was just in town last week, clandestine like, and I'll be coming back again. I hope very soon because they like me so much there. I tend to like to go to places more
Right.
when they show they like me a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've been
More content.
Yeah, you've been getting a lot of love. So, yeah, that's for sure. Okay. Another big thing. Okay, I need to make sure I word this correctly because I've been getting a lot of information about Fred Sandoval and the way that he works, the way that he handles things.
Who, by the way, left the city of FAR, and we just got those records yesterday. When he resigned, they paid him $190,000 to go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if the people in FAR know, right? Because those things are always like kept secret too, right?
Right.
We're investigating his time in FAR as well. You know, I'm a golden rule guy, right? So if you throw things at me, I get more curious about why you're so mad at me. If all I'm doing is just asking some questions that everybody in San Benito has a fundamental right to know. I'm a fundamentalist about stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we can expect you to come back to San Benito. That's awesome. Also, a lot of people are asking about this video. What happened was or somebody in the comments is asking, full transparency, and we don't want to look like cowards not asking the question, but can you ask Dolcefino who's paying him? Who's paying you?
Somebody's trying to
Can't
find
tell
out.
you. Look, we really do consider people who fund investigations confidential informants. We really do.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, I've had some clients who hired us who said, especially in the family and justice cases, who say, I want people to know I hired you.
Right.
I've had people who've been screwed over unfairly, and they want people to know they've hired us to tell their story. Okay?
Yeah.
When people ask me for confidentiality and they don't tell me what to say or do, that's the way this works. Okay? I don't lie for anybody. If somebody has a fact in one of my videos they want to challenge, please tell them to email me or message me,
Yes.
Wayne@dolcefino.com, or go on Facebook or go on my Dolcefino.com website. I will talk to anyone about this because there ain't nothing we've said that these yahoos didn't say themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Very good to know. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Hopefully you can hear it. You're not going to be able to see it. The people watching will be able to see the interview. This is an interview that, very own, well, okay. Come on, Luis. You can't keep throwing these questions out there. Ask them if Varco's tenants are happy with how they are being treated. Can you, do you have any idea what?
I have no idea. That's between Varco and the tenants.
All right. Sorry,
And
Luis.
look, I'm not Varco's guy. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not their spokesman.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what we're going to do, we're going to watch the video. You're going to be able to hear it. You're not going to be able to see it.
Okay.
This is an interview that was just published like less than 24 hours ago from the very own Mayor Rick Guerra. So, all right, let me try to time it. 1, 2, ready, go. Can you hear that? Okay.
Hello, viewers. I'm Juan Montoya. I'm publisher of El Run Run, an online newspaper. In keeping with our coverage of local issues, we were interviewing San Benito Mayor Rick Guerra today. Thanks for meeting with us, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Montoya, thank you so much for giving me this interview, and I just want to thank you that I do follow you. I do give you, with the information that you put out there, and I believe that you're fair, and that's why I'm here to give you this, what you've asked, and I want to be truthful to the people, and I want to be, transparent, to the people.
Transparent.
Very good. Mayor Guerra was a San Benito firefighter for 33 years before running for office. He started his 4-year term on January 2021.
They get to it pretty
Before
quick. They
that,
go
in
straight to the
2018,
Varco stuff.
3 years before he took office, the San Benito Economic Development Corporation, the EDC, contracted with the Brownsville developer, Barco, to build a Resaca Village commercial project. 6 long years later, Barco still had not completed it, and the City Commission decided to finish it themselves. When the city took over, Barco sued, and the city countersued for non-performance. We know it was before your time, sir, but could you please tell our viewers how all this came about and why the project was started to begin with?
Well, what I've understood is, like I said, in 2018 I was a commissioner, but I didn't have no contact with as far as this, what the contract was. I was not the mayor at the time, so I didn't come to become the mayor until 2021. 2021. So this had been going on for already 2-3 years already in the Barco. Barco was supposed to bring in retail stores in the Resaca.
It's a big project.
It was a big project. You're talking about almost 9 acres of it, and it's prime land along the Resaca, and everything had to be retail. Most of the business had to be retail. I know at one point they veered off that they wanted to bring in apartments illegal. It couldn't because of
The nature of
the nature of the loan through
the grants.
EDA.
Yeah.
It had to be retail to benefit the San Benito. So business had to be coming in. So it was going to have business. It was going to have people, workers here from San Benito, and and the tax.
Apparently, hundreds of jobs were promised.
I promised there was a lot of jobs that was promised because 9 acres of of stores that was going to be in there.
Prime real estate.
Prime, everything was good. That they promised so much, but yet
But after all those promises, what happened?
2020 when COVID hit, it took them. The pandemic COVID. It hit the pandemic hit the worldwide. Okay, they kept coming back that they couldn't find people, they couldn't find the materials to be able to start the for the project. So that was their main goal that the COVID hit, and we can't find. So we need more time. We need more time.
Extensions.
And more extensions. Well, that's what they claimed. But they still had 2 or 3 more years to go. But they came, right there and then. They started off with so much on it.
They tell
All right,
the
all right, really
city
quick.
officials.
All right, so we'll stop right there. What do you think about what he's saying right there?
So look, I don't think there's any dispute. This project's taken a lot longer than it's supposed to have. Okay, the only question, and I'm not anyone's guy here. The only question is, if you're in the 11th hour of a project, let's assume this was not as good of a deal for the city as it should have been. Okay,
Yeah.
next time do a better deal. All right, but you're in the 11th hour. These people dealt with COVID. Everything cost a ton more now to build. So they're into this thing, according to them. I don't see I'm not their banker. $8 million, right? So imagine if you're investing $8 million in something and the city comes along and says, time's up. Even though just a few months ago we said you could have a little more time, we've changed our mind, right? We signed the agreement to extend it, but we changed our mind. We're going to take it over. We're going to take away your $8 million investment. What would you have those people have done? I mean, look, maybe if they owe fines, if they haven't paid their insurance or taxes, fine, go enforce that. I don't care. I want the city of San Benito to have economic development. What I'm telling you, after doing this all over the state of Texas, is that when other developers see cities suing developers, they won't come to town. It'll be the last place they want to come to, because they'll see a city that's willing to try to take over a shopping center. What is the city going to do with a shopping center?
Yeah.
Are they going to rent it out? Who's going to run it? Is Fred Sandoval going to run it when he's city manager?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, look, their government is sometimes very incompetent, often corrupt, and usually stupid. That's my experience.
This is
Sorry.
this is what I'm hearing, and I actually agree with it. Man, look, who's going off in the? I think it's Javier again. He's going off in the chat. Yeah, but like this is what I think is the this is pretty typical to where like, and this is also what Dolcefino is saying, is that, look, if you're saying they did a horrible, that this private company did a horrible job, you're the one who made a deal with them. You need to go through with it. You can't and so if you wait until the last minute, once everything's already like completed or almost near completed, it looks bad. It looks like you look incompetent because it looks like, okay, well, now I'm trying to get the good part of the bad deal that we just made.
Bingo.
Yeah, like and so it does. It makes them look incompetent. They made a bad deal, and now they're trying to get away with the with the let's get the best piece of the pie.
And when Jose Morales went to them, and I believed him, and said, we'll only do the deal now if you give us another $1 million. If you give us $1 million, right? They view that as a shakedown, okay? Jose Morales has a lot of explaining to do. It's part of why I made such a big deal with with Commissioner Debbie Morales, right? Her husband, I had a guy who contacted me the other day about a small little right-of-way problem in his house, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going off the point. That's true.
Right.
I've had a lot of people call me. Small little problem, not something I deal with, okay? But he said he went to go see the commissioner, Debbie Morales, right? And who was there with her? Jose Morales.
Right.
And he said Jose Morales did all the talking. Okay, so who's the commissioner? Is it Jose? Is it Debbie?
Yeah.
That, to me, speaks volumes. If the San Benito City Commission really cares about transparency, they should bring up an ordinance and at least eliminate like relatives of the second degree, right? Like the husbands, the sons, the daughters, right? I get it. You know, maybe it's your third cousin from another marriage. Okay, who cares, right? But get rid of those people, right? They would go a long way in solving the perception that there's a problem. And the mayor is the same thing. So the mayor's brother gets accused of sexual harassment at the housing authority, right? We're investigating that, right? There's all these allegations the mayor retaliated against people when he became mayor, right? For messing over his brother. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'll tell you what I do know is true, Mr. Transparency Mayor. They're fighting the release of the documents detailing the investigation.
Right.
Okay? They're fighting the release of the records. So for the mayor to do that interview and talk about transparency when his city is fighting release of the records of the investigation of his brother, that tells you all you want to know.
Red flag, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Man, people want us to do the entire video, but like this is a long video. I'll try to speed it up. We'll try to get to the next main point, and that's it. I don't want to keep you too long. I don't want to like, you know, drag you, you know.
Dolcefino's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be babysitting my grandkids.
Oh,
that's why. Look, you get look what San Benito is doing to this man.
Oh, I feel terrible now.
All right. So let's go through the as much of the video as we can. All right.
That they had a whole laundry list
wrong one.
of contractual promises that were breached by the company. Insurance, what
Part of it, you know, on the contract that, you know, that we signed and what I understood is, like I said,
sped
the
it
city
up.
signed, EDC signed, and Barco signed also. So it's a, you know, it was a contract. Now, on the contract, what I understood is they're supposed to show us their financials, what's going on, how are they going, you know, moving along with the financials, you know, the projects. To this point, right now, I don't even know. We don't even know. 6 years later,
we don't know what the financials are because they have never provided nothing of those financials to us. Nothing to say, you know, this is how much we've done, how much we've product, nothing. Okay?
There was also some insurance questions.
Insurance, the project was supposed to be insured. Up to now that I understood, it has not been insured. So if anybody falls or gets hurt, who's going to be held accountable? We don't know. Because it's not, you know.
But the city's running a liability.
A liability on it. And that was the whole deal that we went before. You know, when the contract expired, you know, it was still, you know, we were still trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing? You know, and we kept telling them, we said, okay, you know, let's come to the table. And they were listened. Okay. So at one point, they sent a representative to come talk to the city manager and myself. And we said, and they told us that, well, are you willing to come talk to Barco and come to the table? And we said, yes. Yes, but we're going to be negotiating a new contract because the old contract is already over. It's already expired. We're already in the 6th year. So that means that the contract is, you know, we're not going to hold them accountable for what they had. But we're going to start with a new
You want to
contract.
keep the initial project to come to fruition, right?
Yes, well, I mean, we wanted them to finish what they said they were, but it's not going to be at a term that the term is now, you're going to show us your financials. You're going to have your insurance, your taxes, you know, that it's supposed to be paid. You're going to show us that you've done that.
Which are basically basic requirements for any type of contract with any city.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good enough. All right. What was the main thing that you caught from that? What are your thoughts?
So look, the city says, and look, I'm not a contract lawyer, right? I wasn't involved in a contract. The city says they haven't showed them their financials, they haven't showed them their insurance, and that they basically just wanted to change the terms of the deal.
Right.
And again, I go back to it. Why? Right? If they're going to look, I've investigated companies who got multi-million-dollar contracts. They were paid, and then they never did anything. Okay, and sure, go after them, full guns. This is a deal, from what I understand it, where it was Varco's money they were putting in, right?
Yeah.
You don't think the delays cost them money?
Right.
Look, anyone who's watching this knows that, like, in the last 4 years, the price of like a slice of pizza has gone up like 80%, right?
Right.
So think about if you're developing a big construction project, you have COVID where no one was working, then you have the price of materials which have skyrocketed, right? There are all kinds of projects. Interest rates are up. I mean, all kinds of projects that get really screwed up. What the city of San Benito should have been doing, in my view, is what do we have to do to get you guys over the finish line?
Right.
How do we help you? How do we promote the people that are already there? There are already restaurants there. I was just there a couple weeks ago. I looked around, right? Took some good video of the place. There's already stuff there. So why isn't the city saying, hey, everybody, come here? And they say, and I've got an email saying, well, the tenants are paying too much. Well, it's a private business. I don't care. I mean, not that I don't care, but you know what I mean? It's a private company renting to people. If you don't want to pay the rent in what's supposed to be the nicest place in San Benito, then don't pay it. But those are private company matters to me.
Right. Right.
And look, my interest is not the Varco contract with the city. A city that doesn't help developers get to the finish line are missing an opportunity.
Right.
If they had walked away, if they had been given $5 million in city money and walked away, then hang them, right? Hang them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's not the deal here.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and we wish we could go through the rest of the video. I'm really sorry, everybody. I know people are, want us to go through the entire video, but it's long. It's like
you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
he talks about me. He talks about transparency and that he's a real honest guy. And look, Mayor seems like a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
But he's not being transparent.
Right.
That's fundamentally false.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sandoval, when they have that next meeting and they pass a nepotism rule, they should either change their charter or give Mr. Sandoval a couple of more months to move,
Right.
or say, I'm sorry. They busted the other guy all the time because he commuted, right?
Yeah.
His kid went to school here. I've talked to him. I mean, and yet Sandoval could say, I'm never moving. And everybody says, well, we can't make him. That's what the mayor said on the newspaper. I can't make him move. Well, God, you're tough, Mayor. Really? He works for you.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look good man, the editing on those videos are so top notch because once Sandoval says, no, I'm never, I'm moving never. And you zoom in to the mayor in the background.
No.
That looks so bad.
Who didn't know what to say because the mayor had just told us he was looking for a house and was moving.
Yeah.
And then Sandoval comes out and says, no, I'm not. And then the mayor says later, well, what do you want me to do? Well, I don't know. You know what? Normally, when you're the mayor and you're at the council, you guys hire and fire the city manager, not the other way around. And
Right.
that's kind of weird too.
Right.
Yeah, and it's somebody's pointing out, and this goes to your point as well, that they're saying that these businesses aren't if the city ever noticed what came to town after Varco, Sonic, the car wash, Dutch Bros, Take 5 oil change, all at no one's expense. Varco was the catalyst for these companies, coming in. So, it's, these things, we need to take on big projects. But I think what the issue is that came out here from my perspective, I could be wrong. A lot of people are saying that this is I think Luis is the one saying that the Varco was like an inside thing, that the head of the EDC gave the contract to Varco and then got hired by quit and then got hired by Varco right afterwards.
Doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. It's, that could be totally true. I have no idea.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I know is that it doesn't matter anymore. You're either going to finish the project in private hands and open it up and promote the heck out of it, or you're going to waste tens of thousands of dollars in a fight with a company that you don't need to have.
Yeah.
But
Now we
that's
have
just look.
nothing.
If Fred Sandoval wants to use taxpayer money to sue me, please, I beg you, I will get discovery on everyone's records. We'll have a ball. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Fred, I'm begging you, please do not sue him with the people's tax dollars. please don't do that. We, the people of San Benito cannot afford to lose any more of their own money. But yeah, like I said, I wish we could go through the whole thing. I wish we could address all the concerns that everyone has. But hey, you've given us way more than enough time, and thank you for addressing every single thing that we brought up. You know, you've addressed it. You know, some people are going to complain and stuff. He didn't directly.
Always.
No, I'm reading between the lines. I'm seeing exactly what Wayne is saying, and it's to where, like, look, you're looking at you're trying to see all the little things that people are like. It's like a married couple. You're trying to
pick and choose facts.
You're trying to
Facts are the facts.
You're trying to get into the details, but what it comes down to is both of you need to make it work, and they're not doing it.
Right.
So, no love lost here. Thank you so much, Wayne. You've been an awesome guest. Anything you want to promote or put out there before we finish off?
No, look, I've met some nice people in San Benito. The judge, especially Chewy, because he let us film in his court, which I think is great. Look, I want taxpayers to get every penny of their money spent on good things. Okay, I wish the best to the city of San Benito. I don't like when sort of like it becomes like one faction has to run everything. I don't think that's healthy. I really don't. And I see it in government. But I will tell you that when I go to a city and I ask for records, I'm going to fight to get those public records because every taxpayer has a right to see them. Transparency, Mayor. I'll be watching your next commission meeting to see how much you are transparent. Send me all the records you're hiding, Mayor. Do it tomorrow. See you guys. Have a great night.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one. We'll see you later. Dolcefino Consulting, Wayne. Have a great rest of your night. And have a good one, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he'll be back. He'll be back in San Benito soon. How awesome is that? You
You
know,
need to make him a brisket or something.
yeah. Do you know? We really need to be.
And I'll send all of y'all my address where you can find me.
You know, we need to be more open to having people expose things, even though we may disagree with it, and not sue them. Let's try to not sue journalists, people who are trying to. What do you think, JB? Should we watch the rest of the video?
Does everybody else want to watch it, or are they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or are the two people complaining still complaining?
We're not going to be able to address it. Luis, what the heck is your problem? You calling him an old fart? What are you doing here? We're trying to host a show, and here you are insulted. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? If the corruption wasn't the worst part of San Benito, there's, this is our hometown. We love San Benito, but there's so many damn things that we can complain about in San Benito. You can't keep a secret in San Benito. It all comes out.
Yeah.
It all comes out.
Why try to hide stuff?
Yeah. And I can attest to that as well. It all comes out in San Benito. So yeah, I don't know if look, we're trying.
If you're bothered by this podcast, then great, great. I'm glad. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Luis. So now we're getting paid by Dolcefino.
Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna pay millions. Oh, millions.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some of that Varco money, right?
Oh yeah.
Damn it. Damn it.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Wake up the people of San Benito. Look.
They don't want to wake up, Jerry. They want to stay asleep.
Look, we're just like, we grew up, born and raised in San Benito. And like I said, we were told for so long that like, oh, the people in, the leaders in the city, they're all dumb. They don't know what they're doing, all this stuff. And it's like I said, it's just like a married couple to where like one's blaming one, the other's blaming the other. When it comes down to it, make it work. I don't care how you make it work.
That or get a divorce.
That's why we put you in charge, because you're supposed to figure out a way to make these relationships with businesses work.
Right.
Like I have to do it whenever I pay somebody to like, I don't know, cut my yard or something, or like, or pay somebody to do any type of service for me. We all need to, make it work. If I can get by without, putting out a lawsuit, I'd hope that the people of that are in charge of the city of San Benito can do the same.
Yeah.